Hello everyone, my name is Steve Schleiker. I'm your current county assessor, and I have the privilege here of being joined by Mike McGuire, co-owner, longtime realtor here in town with Platinum Realtors, and also a good friend. Mike, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. I know you're getting the calls as well,
Yes.
which is the reason why we're sitting here getting together today. Is one thing my office is working on is the 2019 reappraisal.
Okay.
And I know you wanted to get together and just, for your clients and also my customers, the property owners of El Paso County, is try to explain what is happening here in El Paso County.
Right, and I appreciate the time to come in and present from our perspective, which is just how often is this going to happen? What triggered it, for one,
Right.
and then what time frame is it done in, and then realistically, what does it mean to me as a homeowner and other property owners in Colorado Springs individually?
Absolutely. Well, in the state of Colorado, every odd year is a reappraisal year in the state of Colorado. So all 64 county assessors are currently working on reappraising their counties.
Mm-hmm.
And here in El Paso County, we're wrapping that up. And, we have gone through and reappraised all the single-family residential and also non-residential, which is commercial and vacant land properties. So absolutely, what does this mean? Is, by law, on May 1, I will be mailing out, nearly 300,000 notices of value to non-exempt taxable and also to some exempt parcels where value has changed to all property owners. That notice of value is extremely important. What it's going to do is let our property owners know what the prior year value was, the change and that net change, so the current value. And I'm also going to be putting an estimated tax table on there because the folks just really want to know the bottom line is, Steve, you're raising my value or lowering my value by X, but the bottom line is what is it going to mean in taxes? So I'm going to be putting that information on the notice of value as well.
So take a step back. What's the timeline that you guys do your calculation in? What time of year of that, or what years is it?
You know what, Mike, that is a very good question. So for the 2019 reappraisal, by law, we have to use sales that occurred between July 1 of 2016 to June 30th of 2018. So that is a 24-month time frame. Anything that occurred prior to or after that, we cannot look at. So it's during that 24-month time frame. It is very confusing to our property owners because they're sitting here going, we're really not reflecting, the assessor's office is truly not reflecting the current market. Our data is about a year and a half old when we mail out the notices of value.
Right, and I can understand that because if I'm going to be pulling comparable sales for a client, I'm only going to look like an appraiser will do. They'll typically look about 6 to 9 months back from today. And so I can see where those numbers could be skewed. And I want to make sure that people know that if they want to contest it, if they want to say, hey, I disagree with this valuation, before we go into what it actually means to each property, but if somebody wants to contest that and say, I don't agree with this, what, on your end, what does that look like?
Well, keep in mind, you cannot contest or appeal your taxes, but absolutely you can appeal your property value. So if you do not agree with the value, it's a very easy process. You can either call my office, talk to an appraiser on the phone, and we can sit there and go through, pull comps for you. In addition, I just launched a new enhancement to my website called Comper, where now you can sit at your kitchen table, look at the notice of value that I mail out on May 1st, and pull up Comper on the website, and I get the comps there for you, and you can see what is actually going on in your neighborhood.
So, and I've had clients do this before, and others if they want help. It's okay if they get my assistance as well, because I can provide comps to them that they can also bring to you and say, hey, here's what my research was with Mike McGuire, and I've got 4 or 5 sales that occurred during the time frame that you gave me. We feel that these are better because this was a Vantage home, same floor plan, same square footage, a block away, and this is where the valuations were. That they can bring that to you, and you'll look at it, you'll consider it.
Absolutely, Mike. You and I've had the relationship for a long time, and you've submitted appeals for some of your clients. Absolutely, if folks want to reach out to their brokers, the realtors, and have them do that, reach out to you. Most definitely, we accept that information.
Yeah, I mean, your office has always been good about just open communication, and please give us a call, have a conversation with us. It's not us against them or anything like that. It's just more of open communication. So can you just give me an example then? If your average sale in Colorado Springs now is in the low to mid threes.
Right.
So if somebody owns a $300,000 house, can you kind of walk through, I think you put something together here that people can look at as an example.
Right.
So let's say we just say, hey, the valuation did go up and it went up by 20%, or what do you think it's going to be?
Well, based on the sales, and we've researched over 43,000 sales during that 24-month time frame. So we basically hit almost a record number of sales here in El Paso County. And what we've seen just on average, countywide average, is I'm seeing about a 20-25% increase in single-family residential values.
But that's not in 1 year.
It's not. So, Mike, very good point, because you have to keep in mind over the 24-month time frame. So, if your value is increasing 20%, that is a 10% appreciation per year for a 2-year period.
Okay. And I would think that some of what is spurring that is also there are certain price points in Colorado Springs. $180,000 to $350,000 are price points where we do sometimes get the multiple bids. We've got buyers who are willing to say, hey, I'll pay you $10,000, $15,000 over the asking price, and I'll cover any shortfall delta in the appraisal.
Right.
So that obviously, we like to see that, but we don't necessarily like to see it in what's happening to our valuation or our increases in our taxes.
During our sales study, we recognized a large number of sales that have come in where folks were coming to the closing table with cash in hand. If it be, getting into a bidding war, which we have seen in this county for the past couple of years, and folks are paying $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 above, asking price. We're seeing that coming on in, and that is also having an effect, as far as what the current market is.
Well, and the reality is actually those then become good recorded sales that then the appraisers can use as comparable sales for other sales in the neighborhood, whereas before they weren't there.
That is correct.
So buyers are spurring that, bringing in the cash. We all like it, but at the same time, they're recording sales and the values are going up.
Yep.
So,
well, and one thing to keep in mind to answer your question is, if the value of your home goes up 15, 20%, property owners, they automatically assume that their taxes are going to go up. But there's a couple variables that come into play here, and one is the residential assessment rate. And several years ago, that rate was lowered from 7.96% down to 7.2% because of an amendment in our Constitution called the Gallagher Amendment. Mm-hmm. So right now, they are studying that as well, and it's looking like they may be reducing that again this year. And that's based upon the value of single-family residential properties, throughout the state of Colorado. The other thing is also your mill levies. So where you live, in what tax district you live in, is your mill levies could also be an impact on those. But just because your value goes up does not automatically mean your taxes are going to go up as well.
So can we break it down then and give an example?
Let's break it down.
So, okay, so you had one at $300,000 and then one at $345,000.
Right.
So why don't you walk through that then and explain to everybody what that means if they had that property.
Absolutely, Mike. So today, if I valued a property at $300,000 with a current assessment rate of 7.2% and an average mill levy here in El Paso County of 75 mills, the estimated taxes on that property are $1,620 a year on that property. But since 2019 is a reappraisal, I'm going to go ahead and look at probably increasing that property by 15%. Today's value on that is $345,000, that 15% increase. The mill levy, if just remained constant at 75 mills, the taxes would be at $1,863. So you're looking at an increase of about $240 a year in taxes with a 15% increase. Here's where the assessment rate comes into play. Let's say the state changes the assessment rate from 7.2 to 6.95. Mill levy stays constant. The taxes would be $1,798.50 instead of $1,863. So you're looking at a reduction almost $100 based off what it would have been if that assessment rate stayed constant.
But even if it didn't, then really I'm looking at the most drastic difference there is 1620 to 1860.
Correct.
So not to make light of it, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a tax advocate.
Yeah,
But it's
absolutely.
a couple $100 per year.
Per year.
If this happens, and if they say you got a 15, 25% increase in your valuation, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see that kind of increase in your taxes. It may be $150 to $300 or something like
Right,
that.
absolutely. Well, and the thing is, and the reason I'm putting the estimated tax table out there is, for our property owners, is try to prevent the sticker shock. It's when you sit there and you see some neighborhoods that are going up 20, 25%, folks automatically get the sticker shock. But just to keep in mind, like we were sitting there talking, is that is over a 2-year period. And, that is also when you're sitting there looking at the taxes possibly going up, is the assessment rate and the mill levies also play a factor in that.
Right, right. Okay. Well, that helps. So if somebody wants to dive deeper into this,
Absolutely.
what's their process?
Well, as mentioned, they could sit there and they call my office. You could dial 719-520-6600. My office is more than happy to assist, or you can go to my website at assessor.elpasoco.com, and you can go in and take a look at Comper, pull the information up. Thanks for putting this together.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.